Hello, everyone, and welcome to Old World Tech Fridays.
Good evening.
How is everyone this evening?
Doing well.
Upright and conscious.
I see that your youngest is holding the webcam for you tonight.
Yes, indeed. He's going to stand there the entire night. I told him don't move. He doesn't know what rabbit ears are, so I had to explain that.
Right.
That took a while because I had to go get tinfoil, and it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. So, how is everyone this evening? I think we covered that.
Tired.
Yeah, not bad. It was a snow day here today, so everybody can appreciate the outside of my house right now is
and
fairly
here
snowed in.
And here in Toronto, it was about 60
Oh,
degrees
shut up
Fahrenheit.
about Toronto.
For
Nobody
you
cares.
Americans, or 10 degrees Celsius.
Well, Trina and I have the same weather.
Yeah.
I mean, if I was going to film the X-Files, I would probably choose Toronto.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, then they chose Vancouver because it was better.
So let's see. Trina.
Yo.
Who do we got in the stream comments tonight?
Who do we got in the chat tonight? We have Scarlet, the four-eyed Cuda. We have Cat.
Trina's having a stroke.
Apparently. We have a Sloopy Malibu, a Retrotech Chris, Eric Ringel, K-Mac Vintage, Retrotechy, Ron's. Hold on. Retrotechy. There we go. That because it sounded a little like we have a Ron's Computer Videos. I don't know who this guy is. Uncoopervised, Curtis Boyle. I'm scrolling down. We have a Gut Bomb, JC, Frank S, Gareth Beagle. That's it so far.
You heard that right. Jesus Christ is literally in our comments right now.
He joins every week.
He's a superstar.
Be careful. Be careful what you say because he's watching.
So
and everybody should be too.
People may have noticed we have a special guest today. Ron from Ron's Computer Vids.
Oh, he's right
here. How are you, Ron?
Hey, I'm doing well. I hope that everybody is doing well. I hope it has been established how well everyone is doing.
We are all doing well.
That's good.
So,
that's good.
Let's actually, before we get into today's topic, let's do this day in tech history because we haven't done that in a couple weeks. And that doesn't take more than a few minutes. Starting with March 2nd, 1972, NASA launches the Pioneer 10 spacecraft on a mission to explore the outer planets of the solar system. It will pass near Jupiter and Neptune before leaving the solar system. March 2nd, 1997, during a hearing on Microsoft's alleged antitrust activities, Bill Gates admits Microsoft's contracts bar internet content providers from promoting Netscape's browser. Eventually, Internet Explorer dominates the web market as we know it anyway because it's shipped free with every copy of Windows.
Not in Europe.
Nope, that is true. Not in Europe.
It's
and
weird.
am I right?
It's weird what you can accomplish with real regulators.
I know, right? Well, even today with Apple.
Am I right in remembering that was the first big tech antitrust lawsuit?
Actually, there's another one that's kind of like everybody does this every so often. Like when you bundle things, you always have to it's like that's why in Europe you can get Windows without Media Center. Or without any of the media stuff built in because you've got to have no default options. But many years ago, Apple was sued by Lotus and a couple of other companies. Mm-hmm. Lotus is basically IBM. That for including MacWrite, MacPaint, MacDraw with their machines. And so what Apple did is they were like, "Oh, that's fine. We won't bundle it anymore." So they spun off a company called Claris and took those things and made a suite sort of like right about the same time Microsoft kind of with their Microsoft Office. So ClarisWorks is what they called it. And then they just gave it away with machines for free.
So, we had ClarisWorks in elementary school on our LCs. Yep.
Yeah, it's pretty okay.
Yeah.
It's the highest praise I can give it.
It's pretty okay. So
it's fair to Midland.
Mm-hmm.
March 3rd, 1971, Magnavox gets the exclusive licensing of television video game technology from Sanders Associates. The first home video game console, the Odyssey, was developed at Sanders by a team headed by Ralph Baer. I'm pretty sure I have one at storage. Let me see. March 3rd, 2004, Michael Dell steps down as CEO of Dell Computers. Mm-hmm. But he retained his position as chairman of the board. Let's see. March 4th, 1977, the first Cray 1 supercomputer is shipped to the Los Alamos National Laboratory in New Mexico. The supercomputer, which cost $19 million in 1977, was used to design sophisticated weapons systems. The system is a cylindrical tower that was 7 feet tall, 9 feet in diameter, and weighed about 5.5 tons. The machine produced so much heat that it was required a built-in Freon-based refrigeration system, and required its own electrical substation to power it, at a cost of around $35,000 a month for power consumption. In 1977. That's a lot.
70s dollars. Lord.
Holy crap.
OPEC dollars.
Yeah. March 4th, 2000, Japan goes crazy for the PlayStation 2. Sony released the PlayStation 2, the follow-up of their widely successful original PlayStation, in Japan to a waiting crowd of over 10,000 people, many of whom had started waiting 4 days earlier. Sony promptly sold out of all 1 million PlayStations at PlayStation 2 launch in a single weekend. Interestingly, because there was only 11 actual launch title games available for the PlayStation 2, the fact that PS2 could even play DVDs was a significant lower price than most standalone DVD players of the time, drove a lot of the early demand for them. March 4th, 2007, the parliamentary elections held in Estonia on this day were the world's first nationwide election where voting was allowed over the internet. A little over 30,000 out of 940,000 registered Estonian voters participated in internet voting that year, which was conducted from February 26th to the 28th prior to the election. Voters used their state-issued ID and entered 2 passwords to cast their vote online. Out of the 3.4% of the voters who voted over the internet in 2007, nearly 44% of Estonian voters did so in their 2019 elections.
Wow.
So they got quite a bit of popularity. Apparently, they still vote over the internet there. That's interesting. March 5th, 1975, the Homebrew Computer Club holds its first meeting. Many people who played an important part of the early years of the personal computing attended these meetings of the Homebrew Computer Club during its history. Perhaps no meeting was more important than the one that took place almost exactly a year after the first. Steve Wozniak brought his designs for what would eventually become the Apple I. St. Clair ZX81 launches March 5th, 1981. As the successor to the ZX80, is launched in England, designed to be a low-cost introduction to home computing. The ZX81 was the first personal computer to be later sold in the United States for under $150. More than 1.5 million units were sold worldwide and created a lasting legacy among computer programmers and early personal computer users. And then our last one, March 5th, 1995, the Yahoo search engine officially launches on the internet. 13 months later, Yahoo will hold its IPO at a price of $13 per share. Yahoo's stock would peak at $475 a share in January of 2000, and then fall to the price of $8.02 in September of 2001. Holy crap, what a drop from $475 in January of 2000 to $8.02 a share in September of 2021. Man. That's a giant drop. So that's this day in tech history.
I'm surprised there was nothing for the 6th, 7th, or 8th.
I know. It seemed like a lot of them were on the same day, and then another same day.
Yeah,
and then that's it.
Because I was like, we're on the 5th. I'll curl up and take a nap until we get to the 8th.
Yeah, apparently if you want to invent something, you need to do it like on the 6th or 7th.
Apparently.
Yep.
You know, and you won't share that date with anybody else, technology related, apparently.
It's like trying to be the patron. It's like trying to be the patron saint as a Catholic. You got to pick one of those days that's not taken.
That's right.
So,
I don't know who actually curates the list. You know what I mean? So,
hi, Kate.
Who knows? So,
who curates the list of patron saints? I believe it's a place you might have heard of called the Vatican.
Oh, those people. They send those mail order things every once in a while, I think.
Yeah, that's MALE though, right?
I didn't say either way, so I'll leave that up to your imagination.
Actually,
if you get the newsletter, then you know.
I'll behave myself.
Also,
I just get stuff from Hickory Farms, and I'm satisfied with that.
That's how Ron gets his meat in the mail. It's from Hickory Farms.
That's my mail meat's here.
Did you know summer sausage doesn't have to be refrigerated?
Did you know you can eat it year round?
Yeah.
No, I was thinking of the Young Sheldon episode where Dr. Sturgis gives Mary the summer sausage. He goes, "Did you know summer sausage doesn't have to be refrigerated?"
I gotta be right back because apparently I gotta go put on like a leather suit because
I was gonna say the same joke.
Kate called me Trinity, so let me go slick back my hair. And
she also called you a cheese log if you read further.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So what are you gonna do with that?
I don't think she was referring to me as a cheese log.
We're just gonna assume she meant you.
I would not. Trina, do not put dairy products in Kate's mouth. I just. Come on.
She's lactose intolerant.
You never know. So.
And Justin DVD Morgan just joined us.
Hey, Justin.
Hey, Justin.
Yeah, that is what they mean by meetups. That is true. Cheese logs and meat, and the summer sausage.
Yeah,
it's a lot to unpack. I'll let you go ahead and think about that.
Speaking of, if I can go a little off topic, speaking of meeting up, I'm going up to Montreal next weekend, leaving Friday around lunchtime, so I can get there before I fall asleep at 8:00. I should be arriving around 5, and I'm hoping to meet up with Retro Techie and Frederick of Micro Hobbyist.
Oh, awesome!
Yeah, as well as meeting with Cass for the weekend.
Well, so you guys have been warned. You have exactly a week to get out of there.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Also, Trina, here's the deal. Or Trinity. So you know, when you get there, Frederick is actually regular sized.
That is true.
Like it's
what?
Like it's kind of it says micro hobbyist.
What is this? A micro hobbyist for ants?
Yeah, I know. It's completely false advertising.
It's false advertising. But also has a luscious head of hair too. Apparently, it's all green screen.
So I'm hoping there'll be. I'm hoping that the 4 of us can get together and there will be photos.
Okay. Awesome.
So
great.
Stay tuned.
Very cool.
Okay.
Cool. That's exciting.
That's awesome. Are you taking the train?
I'm taking the train up and back. So it's a 5-hour commute. I was originally going to go up after work, but I realized I would get there about 10:30, and I would be like, "Hi, Cass, let me go to sleep now." So I was like, I'll just take Friday off as a vacation day and head up so I can be there around supper time.
Cool.
I don't think Ryan's watching.
I am sorry. Apologize. I just had a friend. So I had a friend reach out to me. He works in boats. We'll leave it at that. He's a boat mechanic. We'll put it that way. Anyway, he reached out to me. They have a machine on one of the vessels that runs an embedded version of Windows NT. They're looking for a replacement unit for it, just in case it crashes. Okay.
There was no spare from the wreckage?
No. If anybody has a line on some modern NT embedded devices, hit me up in the comments, please. Because they're going to need some sort of solution soon. Anyway, I digress. Yes,
Ron.
I was just going to say, let's introduce our guest.
So, Ron.
Hey, everyone. Yep.
It's good to have you again.
Yeah,
second week in a row.
Yep.
Looking to
all right, so Ryan and I will be dumping out again.
Mm-mm.
No,
I'm teasing.
We're here.
I'm teasing.
Ryan's married. That's not going to work anyway.
That's true. Narco
There we
boats
go.
running NT.
Problem solved.
That's right, Kate. The narco boats are running NT. There you go, Ryan.
Oh, that's perfect.
He's
I'll
doing his
just have
part.
to. Yeah.
So, Ron.
I'm not saying
Yes.
nothing about nothing.
So, a lot's been going on this week, in addition to last
Absolutely.
week,
Yeah.
since you've joined us.
Yes, it has been a very busy week. It's been a busy week and a half, or so for me. But yeah, it's been pretty crazy. But hopefully, people are starting to kind of pay attention to what's been going on, and have if they have been affected, that they are crafting their story. They're making sure that they get all their stuff written down, so that way that we can own the SEO on this story. So that way that we can stop it from happening to other people.
Absolutely.
So, Ron, I'm just going to interject real quick and say, for somebody who might be watching that didn't watch the previous videos, and we'll shame them for not watching them, why don't you bring us up to sort of, bring us up on the
Sure.
on what it is that's going on.
It's just sort of the situation is there was somebody in the community who basically has been on a multi-decade grift, moving from retro community to retro community, and taking advantage of people, and either using emotional manipulation to sell them things at more than maybe fair market price, or emotionally manipulating them into paying their bills for them, or saying like, hey, send me this thing for repair, and then never sending that item back, or in a few cases, as which was covered last week, which I would invite people, if you have not seen last week's video, to definitely check that out. Basically taking things in on repair and then reselling them to other people, or at least taking the money from people on a sale and never sending them actually anything. But that has been something that has come to light, that has happened with numerous people. And last week on this show, after a couple of days after I made like an initial video just kind of calling this person out, on Friday, or actually during the week, just my conversation connected me with our new friend, Big Steve. Big Steve was able to reach out to me and basically said, hey, he was telling me his story, but then I realized as I heard his story that I had heard his story before, because his story was Frank was connected to that story. And so got them on, we had a nice interview, we talked about it, and they showed all their receipts, they showed all their evidence, which was pretty damning, that this is something that's happened. And subsequent to that, more and more people have come forward and had their allegations of like, hey, like, this is a similar thing happened to me. I sent him this thing, and then I found out that, or I saw it for sale somewhere else. When I contacted him, he feigned ignorance about it. Or it would be a situation where I guess it's come out that there is a Commodore Collectors Club in his area of the world, where they have like a monthly meeting, and people will bring things there for a free pile, and he would always be the first person to the front of the pile, throwing elbows to get up there to the best stuff, and then he would turn around and sell those items when things were explicitly stated through the club that those were supposed to be for for people's personal enjoyment. This wasn't supposed to be profit motivated, even if it was never maybe explicitly said don't sell these things. I guess the unspoken rule was that these are for things for other club members.
Sorry to interrupt you. I just saw something on a notification that popped up where somebody had made a comment to the video from last week an hour ago, but I can't get it to get me there. And it's from a Neil Bradley, Neil Bradley.
Mhm.
And it says, well, this is awkward. I actually bought that exact same advertised A4000, same serial number from Sean on 9/13/2022 for $2,100 in person. We had
Wow.
to go to a local bank and get cash out. He called me, and then I'm trying to click it to view it, but
Mhm.
it's taking me to the comments, and I only see one comment. I can't see that one. Like, that
Okay.
comment's
Oh,
gone
wow.
now.
Well, if you got the receipts, you can use the about page to contact the people
Yes,
here at the show.
please do.
They'll put you in contact with Frank. Frank will get you in contact with Big Steve, and I'm sure that you guys can all three have a nice little talk about our good friend Sean.
Yeah.
Sean Rocks, geek with social skills, who turns out is no one's friend. In fact, he is a serial grifter and someone who exploits retro communities using the name dropping the names of either kind of heroes in that hobby or big operators in that hobby, and then using that for unearned social credibility, and then turns around and exploits people, steals from them, and then moves on to the next victim.
Wow.
So this has been a bad week for our buddy Geek with Social Skills, mostly because he is starting to feel some comeuppance.
Good.
If you could do the research, I'm sure that in the show notes there'll be some handy dandy things that you can Google that will give you information about his past activities, which and that is something else that he likes to say, is that this is all this stuff is in the past. This is decades old. No, it's not. It has never stopped. He might have had some legal trouble in California at one time, but guess what? He got some of that stuff expunged or got those charges reduced after serving time, and then turned around and just kept doing the exact same scam. It has never stopped. And so there some of the people we've worked with, the people that he's exploited, trying to get them connected. We definitely encourage people that if they have a monetary claim against Sean, and it doesn't matter how much, or Geek with Social Skills, doesn't matter exactly how much that is, they still need to file a police report. File a police report, talk to your local law enforcement, find out what they would recommend that you do. Because it's weird, because there are situations where if enough people get together with small claims, they can roll that into one big claim against someone. And there's a special name for that. But as not being a member of the legal advice community, you might want to talk to a local lawyer about that too. After last Friday, when the video came out here with Frank and Big Steve kind of showing all their evidence, I had another interview set up where I interviewed Adrian Black from Adrian's Digital Basement. And basically this was to clear the air, because there seemed to be some people that wanted to jump to conclusions just because Adrian is a big person in that same retro scene in that area of the country. And Geek with Social Skills repeatedly used his name to convince people that he was trustworthy, when
I
obviously that was
apologize.
not the case.
I'll be back.
So basically, yeah, that's kind of what's going on. Interviewed Adrian, talked to Adrian about that stuff. That
It was a
video,
great interview, Ron.
yeah, the video's doing okay. If you have not watched that, I'm sure that'll be in the show notes as well, and you can check all that stuff out. So
Yeah,
but
it's interesting because I only had about maybe a handful, if that, phone calls with Sean, Geek with Social Skills,
mhm.
and every time it was, oh, I went to lunch yesterday with Adrian,
Mhm.
and like I don't know what angle he was trying to get with me, because every time he said, I'd be like, oh, that sounds cool, great,
Mhm.
like
Hmm.
fill your
I
boots.
think it's all about building that social cachet that we talked about. It's about
Yeah.
building that level of trust and building that friendliness that that helps. What's the word? Be holding him. Be align him with the community. It makes him seem like he's trustworthy. It definitely
again,
is. It's part of the social engineering.
Credibility where he didn't really have any. So but just the wild claims that he has made. He made wild claims to me all the time about just silly stuff. And that's the thing. Narcissistic liars will lie to you about everything, and it does not matter because they don't think enough about you to think that you might actually have you wouldn't just believe them, that you might actually read up on whatever it is they're claiming. But if you go back and read some of the comments on the other videos, there some of the, like, he told me that he was good friends with Steve Wozniak, like they had lunch and things like that, and I'm like, okay, all right. But I mean, it's like that kid in high school that lied to you about knowing somebody famous because
Chunk.
because they just
Chunk from the Goonies.
Yes,
right?
They just needed, like Michael Jackson, use my bathroom kind of thing, right? So just because they feel like they need to do that. I don't understand that, but no, it's like all these silly stories. He told me, it's like, oh, I was good friends with Kevin Mitnick. We called all the time. And it's okay. Well, let me get right on the phone and verify that with Kevin Mitnick that you were friends with him.
Who's dead now.
Yeah. So everybody that he knew, it didn't matter who you knew. He knew somebody more famous, or he knew somebody better that, that trumps whatever it is that you're trying to say. But he, he very much would like to name drop Adrian all the time, because I think once he figured out that people like Adrian, and I think I saw Adrian described as like a fuzzy bath coat and a cup of coffee and Saturday morning cartoons kind of person, And so, if you don't have those things, I guess it's really easy. You're a wanting person that, you'll absolutely glom on to something that you think you can exploit. So it was really important to get Adrian, get his version of the story out there, to make sure that people understood that there might have been kind of a casual friendship until he got to know him. And then he used the pandemic as the perfect opportunity to ghost this guy. And so since Adrian doesn't really use social media, it was very easy for him to go out and make claims, because who was to verify what he was saying? Adrian wasn't there to step in and say, wait a minute, that's not true. We weren't at that thing. I have a million pictures of Adrian that were taken by Sean, Geek with Social Skills, like that Adrian would be across the room at a club meeting, and it's like he's over here with his little camera taking a secret snapshot of Adrian, just to be like, I was in the same room as him, kind of thing. Just so silly.
I think I also might have gotten one or two of those pictures over the course of the last year or two, maybe, or maybe it was someone showed them to me, but it was always with the caveat, don't show this to somebody.
Right.
Like, it was always with you're not supposed to share it. Don't share it. It's not public.
Right.
I always found that kind of weird. But
I never saw his face until he put it in, like put the picture of him as a kid in the video.
Yeah.
Which if you can Google him and find out what he looks like pretty easily. We're certainly not going to discuss legal names here or where he lives or anything like that. We're certainly not trying to dox this guy, but at the same time, he's imminently findable if you just have the right search criteria. But Retro Tech Chris just put in the comments there something very, very true, which is like, Adrian is he's an amazing guy, and he does a really good job of connecting with his fan base, just not on social media, in other ways. Okay. But he doesn't need some joker like Geek with Social Skills as like he's the gatekeeper for access to Adrian, that is exactly how he leveraged himself. That if you wanted to, because there were times where he was like, oh, I know Adrian and all this stuff, and I'm like, yeah, well, I said I want to send him this item, and he goes, well, I'll ask Adrian if he wants that. And I'm like, okay, well, I mean, if you're going to see him at the club meeting or something, just ask him and see what he says. And so he's like, well, Adrian said it'd be okay, but if you want to, just go ahead and send it to me and then I'll give it to Adrian. Because Geek with Social Skills knows that Adrian has like a 30, 40 day production timeline on some of these videos. I mean, granted, I'm sure he gets things and he's kind of like, oh, I'm interested in this. I'm interested in this. But you know, this is Adrian's job. So you can't just like fly by the seat of your pants on this. So I am certain that his thought was, oh, you send me the item. I'll keep your item if I like it, or I'll sell it. And then it's like, well, I gave it to Adrian. Who knows why he's not doing a video about that? Makes me wonder how many people fell for that. Or how many people had the good meaning people had that happen to them because they trusted this Joker.
Right.
It's sad. Trina, it's just you and I.
It is just the two of us.
Just you and I.
So welcome to an early edition of the Retro Repair Roundup. It's just the two of us.
Mm-hmm.
With our special guest, Be Right Back.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I loved him. He was so good on Cheers. Just all the catchphrases.
Right.
So, but no, he and Gut Bomb is also saying in the chat right here, during a phone call with him once, I mentioned that I was going to visit the area, and he was like, "Oh, great! You should come, with me and Adrian to lunch." Or I've seen it where he's invited people over to Adrian's house and things. So it's just very, very strange. Very, very strange. So, Trina, I don't know. You have the capability to put those chat items, make those pop up.
Yeah, I
in the
can.
thing.
Hang on. Let me do that. There we go.
Yeah, I was going to say it's kind of. I don't have access to do that, but
yeah, no, I can do that.
Yeah, but
and apparently Kate said me too.
Yeah, I think he did that a lot to people.
And then Kate also replied back to Curtis's comment, which is that he did the same thing with videos. That he would share something and say, "Don't share until this is public."
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Or it was a big deal, and it was like anytime we discuss business or something like that, he'd be like, "Oh yeah, I'll give you a call." Or it's like anytime that it was going to be that Sean was going to be committed, Geek with Social Skills was going to be committed to doing something. It was never in writing. It was always a phone call. So that way that there was no paper trail. So, and again, like I said, I guarantee that he is well aware of the laws and how they vary state to state on, basically, whether you can record a conversation. And then even then there's a lot of states where, you don't have, you have to have consent from the other party, and then even if you do, it's not admissible as evidence. So, yeah, something else. Hey, welcome back, Frank.
And also, I want to say hi to Rudy's retro intel for.
There was a ginormous development during that period that I was off that I'll have to fill you in off stream.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. Well, thanks for joining. Because I'm sorry, I want to go find out what this news is. So screw the rest of the stream.
So what else is on the docket tonight?
I don't know.
Well, honestly, that was it. We just wanted to get a update on the situation, how things have progressed, and where things are at now, just to keep everybody informed. I don't know if Ryan pointed out or not. Like last week, we had told people that we would be posting screenshots, text messages, pictures, all that kind of stuff that we were able to share. Did he share that link with everybody or let people know where to find it? Okay. Because that was one of the important things that we wanted to make sure we touched on is delivering on what we promised people for. So again, thank you all for sharing all of your stories and all of your interactions with said person. And it's going to go a long way in helping other people honestly, to not have that happen.
The one thing that drives me crazy now that it's out, we don't need to say said person anymore. Just say Sean Geek with Social Skills. Let's just call it out.
Yeah, that's true.
It's fine. Again, the Wednesday video was mostly about just making sure that that just testing the water and just kind of seeing what the reaction was kind of be, and make sure that people kind of watch the end of the video so that they could hear the story and then whatever. So it's not like
Absolutely.
I watched the first 30 seconds of your video and I've made up a decision about this, how I feel about this. It doesn't matter, facts, F your feelings kind of thing. It's whatever. So it's to make sure that people got to the end so that way that we could have a real conversation about this. So
Oh no,
and I think it was
that made total
Yeah.
sense the first time because
Yeah.
But now that it's kind of yeah. Also, and I want to say hi to One Bit who has joined us. Hello.
That's good.
And that got really One Bit. Message me on Discord. I have a question for you. Yeah, just send me a ping on Discord when you get a chance.
Frank, can you make me
Well, I can. Do you want me to make you big?
No, not necessarily. No, I thought I was an admin because I was trying to post a link and it wouldn't let me post the link. So
Oh, hang on. Yeah, I thought you were as well. Give me 1 second.
I'm pretty. I got a wrench next to my name, so I am. So
And
I'm
yeah,
not sure what
that's
happened.
silly.
And Kate, yes, I am going to VCF Midwest. I have a hotel room booked for 3 nights, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
But it's the weekend after the event, so we've been trying to fix it all day.
Why
am I still big? Why am I still big? Hosts.
Let me fix that.
Who've conceivably used this software before.
Sorry, I was replying back to Kate.
This isn't the same as the Etch-a-Sketch, darn it.
Yeah, right. But yeah, I had heard that they had opened up a bunch of Thursdays because I'm going to be arriving Thursday, and apparently they opened up like 40 rooms for Thursday. 5 minutes gone. For
Wait,
VCF
30
Midwest.
rooms? What?
Well, they had opened up an extra 40 rooms to book for Thursday, so you could add like Thursday if you.
Yeah, originally it was 10. It was 10 rooms, and
Yeah,
they were like,
yeah.
"Oh, nobody's going to stay on Thursday," and I'd be like, "There was a ton of people here on Thursday last year."
Mhm.
That seems like well, and they do. There was a follow-up email, and they're like, "Yeah, it's kind of an oversight on our part. Maybe also doing this on a Friday was the other oversight, or like sort of like maybe we should have done that on Friday." But yeah. But bring that back up because we need to have a discussion about this. Not that one. That's the wrong one. That's the right one. Yes. So it's don'tmesswithretro.com for people that you can actually share it with just anybody then. And then hopefully there will be some manner of thing that this can actually exist in polite society and not strictly just be curse words. I mean, young people curse, I understand, but there's still a point where it's like, how do I get on Tech TV with this URL? Oh, you don't.
By the way, I muted Ryan because there was awful background noise coming from him.
It's the loudest cigar I've ever heard.
No, it's like rattling in the background. I don't know what it is.
Oh, it's the heat. It's probably the heater.
Oh yeah, it is. Yep.
Is it oil?
Electric.
Oh, okay.
It's the backup electric heater.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I assume you guys were discussing VCF Midwest.
Yes.
Yeah, we were just talking a little bit about it.
We should. So who's all going? Ryan's going.
I'm going.
Right here.
Frank's going. He doesn't know it yet. Frank's going.
I'm going.
Frank's going.
Hi, I'm going.
I think I can announce Dan.
Frank, are you going to East?
No, I'm not going to East.
Frank,
no.
Frank, what? Do that.
We got too much other
there.
stuff going on. I know. It's only a couple hours.
One day, just one day. Just go over for a couple of hours. Have you been to the museum over there?
I have not. I've heard good things.
It's really neat. Their retro museum is super cool.
I heard it was like being in, like stepping into The Great Gatsby, the book, like in some of the areas there.
Oh, and I meant to ask Kate, are you going this year to Midwest as well?
She's busy.
She's going. She'll be there. You know who else is going to be there?
Me.
Mackie.
And Ron.
Kevin Mitnick.
And Mackie. Really, zombie Kevin Mitnick? Wow. I hear
Just
Waz.
in
I was talking
spirit,
to
in
Waz the other
spirit,
day.
in spirit.
I was
Are
talking
they
to
doing
Waz the
this?
other day, and
Are they
he said
doing
he
the
was going to be there.
same? Are they going to do the same holographic thing as they did for Michael
Tupac?
Jackson?
Yeah, it's gonna. Yeah, they're gonna have Tupac out there. It's gonna be awesome.
Kate, there's no maybe about it. You're going. If I have to come down to Texas, dear God, and drag you, I will.
Name drop LOL.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yes, I know Ron
I
from
think
Ron.
Yeah,
he's
he's driving
Mitnick down there for some-
so the car. Is it gonna be like the ant from Vacation?
God.
Just top of the car. That's it.
Weekend at Bernie's.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah,
and,
we get
and
Bernie's.
also, and what you don't realize is that Curtis is their gopher.
They're gonna
like he's
they're
gonna
gonna
go
play
back
that
and
they're gonna play that lost Apple tape, the cassette.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what makes them go.
Yeah.
What they don't
Weekend at
realize is
Bernie's.
actually Steve Wozniak beat Nick poetry slam, like slam poetry.
Yes.
That's all that's on the tape.
Yeah.
But it's in binary, so you got to know how to speak binary to really appreciate it.
Actually, I think what would be really great is if you put the tape in and it's like, please turn to side B. And then you flip it and you play it. Please turn to side A. It's just,
Yes, I do believe that I heard Leo and DJ talking about it. They are going to East.
Yeah, so they're going to East, and depending
Yes.
on how that goes for them, they will also be at Midwest. Was
Midwest,
sort of
yes,
the
correct.
understanding I had with them.
nice.
Yep.
Good.
So
Yep,
we'll have
Very
the whole
nice
Naboo
people.
family,
that's right.
except for that cousin we don't like talking about. He won't be there,
That's right.
which is good because we don't like talking about him.
Eustace.
But yeah, so that's exciting. I booked my.
Oh, and by the way,
my
for
hotel.
those of you who want to know, Adrian and I will be
Joe.
at Midwest. We're gonna go to and have meatballs at
At Irving or at
IKEA.
IKEA.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we're like
Nice.
this.
Well, I know
I
for a
heard that.
fact that Chris, Retrotech Chris, is going to be renting a gigantic bus apparently. So
wow.
we're going to all be able to get in it.
Oh,
Well, he
that's
said
awesome.
they're going to he rented a subcompact, but apparently, according to him, they always upgrade them.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
I'm assuming they're just going to upgrade them to a 72 passenger school bus, and we're all
Nice.
just going to have like a Partridge Family adventure.
That's awesome. Hello World.
Yep.
There's a song that we're singing. Come on, get happy.
Exactly, and copyright.
Mhm. You know who I'm gonna see at VCF Midwest? It's
Who's that?
Trina. Because you know why? You know why? Because Trina.
Because I'm going to wear a Trina mask.
Trina and I are like this.
Ooh, like that. But Trina's a Romulan, so she would do that.
Hey, we can
She
pretend.
she could stab you in the back.
Show me
if
the
you
shin. Yeah.
If you
Show me the
watch the
shin.
original series, you will notice that we kind of look the same. So it's hard to tell if I'm a Vulcan or a Romulan.
No emotion. Good.
Mhm.
Lots of emotion. Bad.
Don't
Yeah.
let her lie.
But there's also a TNG episode where a Romulan did portray a Vulcan and showed no emotion. So
Don't let her lie. She's from Bejor.
from Bejor, yeah, I was
She's
I
an
was a
ancient.
I was a terrorist.
I think Trina is one of those like the villains from like the first season of Voyager.
Oh my
That
gosh.
I always just thought they looked like broccoli. I don't know what their deal was. I don't know
Oh,
what.
the Kazon.
the K-
Yeah.
Kazon.
Yeah.
They
yeah,
just look
yeah.
like broccoli people.
Okay.
It's
They
like,
did.
oh.
Ron, you seriously crossed a line. Voyager?
I thought you were going to say
Voyager. It's okay.
vegetable.
I
Oh,
love Voyager.
Voyager? Seriously?
Yeah.
Like
Catherine
no, no, no.
Janeway.
Yeah,
Cross
it's
the line.
okay.
My
There's some good episodes in there, but it's just kind of it's what are you gonna do with it? It's
It
kinda,
was my least favorite Star Trek
Thank
series.
you.
Is Voyager, honestly.
no
It really
Enterprise
was.
is my least favorite.
No,
That
it
was
wa-
garbage.
I thought it was better than Voyager.
Enterprise
The
was
end.
way
The end where it
better.
was all a simulation. Come on now, that's a pretty weak ending.
well, I mean,
the
we don't
ending,
know.
The ending episode of Enterprise was better than all 7 seasons of Voyager put
No,
together.
no.
I don't
Shut your mouth.
know.
That's
I
wrong.
don't know.
Tonight
There's
on
some-
Star Trek podcast.
Yeah, there's some good episodes in there.
I mean, the one episode I will say that I fully will go back and watch again is Scientific Method from season 4, and it's where they have the scientists that are performing experiments on the crew, but everything is cloaked.
Yeah.
And so Seven becomes, and the best part of it is that basically the ending of the show when Janeway's like, F you, and just takes over the ship and is like, here's what I'm going to do. It might be batshit crazy, but you've driven me to this point.
Yeah.
Well,
It's a great climax to the
what I love
Trina
about
would
that particular
concur.
episode is the fact that Kate was coming off a
Smoking.
cigarette addiction.
Yes.
Yeah. So like her anger was
her anger was
like,
actual.
pent
Yeah.
up, not being able to smoke anger.
But I'm sure Trina would agree with me. Like, I really enjoyed Deep Space Nine, and I felt a special connection or a familiarity with the Ferengi. I can't exactly put my finger on why.
I think you're just a big Armin Zimmerman fan.
Exactly.
Armin Zimmerman?
Question for you.
About
that's
the
actor
rules
that
of acquisition that really
Armin
stick with me.
Shimmerman, not
Oh,
Zimmerman.
sorry. Yeah.
Can I ask you a question too, Frank?
Yes.
Shimmerman.
Frank, when you watch Harry Potter, which of the mystical creatures do you most identify with?
Well,
Is it Hagrid?
Ones.
Is it Hagrid?
It is. It is.
I knew it.
And it's all the hair.
Is it the or is it more likely the people that work at the bank?
I do like bank tellers. Yes, yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
I'll leave
something
that
about
as
the
it
way
was.
the change sounds when you're counting it and the feel in your fingers. So yeah.
Also played by Warwick Davis, I think was one of them.
Mm-hmm. The head.
Yeah.
They're the one that gets all the screen time.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I think this is a good point to end it.
It is.
We could go on a rant about
Yes.
author.
So we appreciate everybody coming, especially our friend Ron, joining us for that update. A lot of people are waiting in anticipation to see what's next and when the next shoe drops. So thank you for sharing what you know and what you've heard. Because I know a lot of people have reached out to you. So thank you very much. We appreciate your videos that you put out and the interviews you've done.
Mm-hmm. And there will only be more stuff as time goes on.
That's right. Check the link.
That we've had media inquiries about this.
Wow.
So it's there will be a point where there will be real stories about the stuff. So if but here's the thing, it doesn't matter. You see something in the paper, you see something on a website or something like that.
Yep.
The most important part of this is we beat Geek with Social Skills at his own game. He has used search engine optimization, SEO, to suppress a lot of this information against him. The solution, how you get around that is, it doesn't matter how big your audience is. It doesn't matter if it's like, you know what, I only post videos on my Patreon or something like that, or I only make blog posts. I only do cave paintings. It doesn't matter what the medium is, and it doesn't matter how big your audience is. What matters is that if you are someone who was wronged by this person, you need to make your voice heard, because he desperately wants to shut me up. He has threatened me with legal action multiple times in the past, and that's before last Wednesday. So what I would tell you is that he wants to desperately shut me up, but he cannot shut everybody up. He can't do it. And the way you do that is you support the community and you support other victims by making sure that your story is heard. You go out, you post it wherever you can. Again, it doesn't matter how big your audience is. And more than anything else, if you've been threatened by this piece of crap, Geek with Social Skills, he can't hurt you. He is full of it. He makes big threats. There have been people that in other communities that have came forward and said that he had someone that represented themselves as a lawyer call them to harass and intimidate them. So I don't know what this guy, all he's capable of, but it doesn't matter because he's a paper tiger. Okay. Stand up, make your voice heard. It doesn't matter if your voice wavers while you do it, but do it. Get it out there. let people know what happened, because that's the way. Even if you never get a penny back on it, that's the way that you can help fix the scales on this. So
just like the TSA, see something, say something.
The fires of Gondor have been lit, and they're not going out. So
cool. Steve has an old printer going off in the background, not us.
That's probably
it's Ryan's heater.
Yeah,
that's Ryan's heater. Yeah.
Sorry.
All right, don't forget to lasso that like button and spur that wrong channel.
Hey, copyright.
Thank you all.
Wrong show.
I know, right? I don't know what show I'm on anymore.
Thank you all.
Thank you very much for having me. Sorry, I neglected to say that. That was very kind of you guys to have me on today.
Taking the time.
And I'm sure we'll have you on in future to keep us abreast of everything that's going on.
Yeah,
true.
Don't forget, we appreciate.
It's Marcintosh. Make Macintosh content. Have fun.
Right. It is Marcintosh. Hashtag Marcintosh.
Good night, all.
Good night.
Good night.